Look at me. It's a big apple. We need ball. Yeah, we need a ball. Okay, my what's the one? Down.
I think the kids have been listening to too much news. They're staying like 6 feet apart from each other. That's funny. The things kids listen to that you're not even aware of that they're paying attention to.
Okay, you, Daddy, me, Cole, Weston, Gage.
Oh.
Oh, in this house.
No, in our house. That's nice.
Oh, I forgot to write a car.
Oh, okay.
And a garage.
All right.
Take it back. The garage is going to be right over here.
Cool, bud. Hi, welcome back to my channel. How are you? How you doing? It's a beautiful Friday afternoon here. It's been a beautiful Friday morning too. Today is like one of the first days it's in the 60s and sunny, and we have been outside all day today. All day. From 10 o'clock, and it's like 1 o'clock now. We're getting ready to go inside and have some lunch. The kids are gonna, little ones are gonna take a nap, and you will get some schooling done. But I kind of want to do like a 2-week review on what's going on with our lives and how things have changed and how we've had to adapt, and you know what have you guys done to change? What have you guys done to adapt? Hi, bud. So Friday, it's been 2 weeks today. Last Friday we were told school's done until, what was it? I want to say school was done until the 12th or something like that is what they said. I'm probably wrong, but I knew we had at least 2 weeks where there wasn't going to be a school. I don't remember right now. And then they just came out and they extended it for us until April 20th, which would be after our spring break. But I know a lot of places, like I have my sister's in Virginia. Her kids are done for the entire year. I have friends that are in Virginia, their kids are done for the entire year. I have people that are not going back until May. So far they're saying not till May is school's gonna go back, and it's like, at that point, why aren't you just, I don't know, personally I just feel like, why aren't you just calling it and then giving people time to figure things out, I guess. I don't know. But I know on the flip side, there's a lot of people that have dual incomes that don't have, I have the ability, and I'm blessed to be able to stay home with my children. Not all people are like that. A lot of people have to do summer camps and everything for their kids, and how is that going to play out? I mean, my kids are in a summer camp as well, and it's like, how is everything going to play out for the summer? Nobody knows right now. Everything's up in the air. But just to start kind of talk about like how our routine has been. So Friday we found out, and then Saturday, Sunday we kind of just did our normal Saturday, Sunday hang out, relax kind of thing. And then last Monday, I really didn't push school too hard Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Didn't really push school. Did a couple of things. My oldest still did like a couple of things that he needed to do. Kept him on the same routine because he's already been a homeschooler. So I had him on a routine, so it was easier to keep him on the new routine. I had to kind of feel out the other ones and how I was gonna do things. And you know, I saw so many people that were so ambitious and are like, they have from like 7 in the morning all the way down to like 5 in the afternoon. And you know, if that works out for your family, that's fine. My family does not function on like an hour by hour schedule like that. I kind of decided to just take each day and label that day with a specific subject. So Mondays it's reading, Tuesdays it's math, Wednesdays are science, Thursdays are social studies, and then Fridays I normally do a writing I'm going to be doing a writing activity and kind of some like art stuff and more of elective things that we're going to be doing. That's my schedule I put together. It's easier for me with with multiple kids doing school to just focus on one subject per day instead of being like, okay, this kid's going to do science while this kid is doing math and this kid is doing reading. And I just felt like when I tried that last week, it was very overwhelming for me because I was like trying to jump around from subject to subject, and this kid needed help with this one and that kid needed help with that one. So it was a definite learning curve last week with, I'm like, okay, the hour by hour thing is not working for our family. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna structure this. And then I just decided, you know what, we're gonna do one day of each. And that's actually what I was doing for Weston for a while too. I was taking one day because of his therapy and how we had to break up his learning in between his in-home therapies that are 2 hours a day, 3 days a week. I had to kind of figure out, okay, what am I gonna do for school in between therapies and in between. All right guys, hey, no fighting. Thank you. And try to figure it out. So I basically just went back to what I was doing with that. And then also having to incorporate, you know, I still have a 3-year-old who still needs nap. And then if my 5-year-old, my son turned 5 on the night, my third child turned 5 on the 19th, you know, when I could definitely tell that some days he was more tired and some days he was so wired that giving him a nap would not have been a good idea, because we would have never been able to go to sleep later that night. He's definitely like me. There's sometimes I can nap during the day and I can then go to sleep at my normal time, and there's some days where I've napped and then I can't go to sleep till like 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning because I've napped during the day. Let me get my water in. So he's a lot like me on that aspect, so I really have to kind of gauge. But the one thing I have found with doing all this is, and I feel like I can't be the only person that has realized this, I have more time now than I did before. And I know I talked in my last video about the fact that my husband and I were already contemplating, you know, not contemplating, we were gathering the tools that we needed to homeschool all of our children for the following year next year, just because of us changing duty stations. And we didn't want to have them start a school, be in a school for a month or two, pull them out, do the move, have them out for like a month in between duty stations, and then try to throw them into another school, and then Christmas time was going to happen. It was way too much of bouncing around and starting and stopping school. So we both were just like, you know what, we'll just homeschool them. We'll take them out, take the stress. We're already gonna have stress from moving. We're gonna take that out of the equation. It has shown me that homeschooling is something that I actually really enjoy doing with them. I feel like I'm able to give them one-on-one attention that they need when I don't really know how to explain it. I just feel in my heart that I think homeschool is my calling at this point. And again, I'm going to talk to my husband, I'm going to talk to our children after all of this is said and done, once we move and get situated. And I don't want to force if that's not something that they want, because I do want to make it an experience that they enjoy. Now, my oldest child doesn't, honestly, if you talk to him, he does not want to go back to school because he was overwhelmed. So that's the reason why I'm saying he's not going back. He doesn't like being the overwhelming anxiety feeling and how he can't think properly when he's in school. My other ones, they had a lot of times in the last year where they have said, oh, I want to go to school, and then there was times where they're like, Mommy, I just want to be home and do school with you. So this last 2 weeks is getting adjusted, kind of figuring out our routine. It's just really shown me that, you know, through something like a scary time this quarantine is, it's opened my eyes to where homeschooling is probably going to be what's best for my family, for our family. Just because, you know, going back home to see family when my husband is gone on the submarine and being around family and having more support system, you know, with them being in school, it really limits the amount of time that I can take them and go be around family where they have more of a support system, because of the fact that I have to make sure they're in school. So right now, this has just shown us that homeschooling is a blessing to our family, and that's something we're going to continue. Now, it's not to say there haven't been some things I've had to like nip in the bud. It's a learning experience right now for everyone, but they're still going through it. I think they're not used to being around each other 24/7 like this, and not being able to be around other kids which most kids are having to deal with right now. So there's been a lot of bickering, a lot of fighting, a lot of separating, a lot of talking, and it's really shown me that like they really need to learn how to play together more. Now granted, they're home on the weekends with each other and after school, but it's really not a lot of time. And over the summer, you know, we're doing and going and doing so much during the summer, and they're still always around other kids. Right now they're not around other kids. They've really had to learn how to talk to each other, how to be nice to each other, how to ask things from each other and play with each other. And that's something, again, that I think is a blessing. Yes, baby? Okay. It's kind of, out of this quarantine situation, is a blessing because it's forcing them to learn how to kind of coexist and talk to each other better. Another thing that this quarantine has taught me is that they were on devices way too much. Way too much. Their Kindle pads, even though they had learning stuff they were doing, you know, Nintendo Switch, Nintendo DS, we monitor them watching kids YouTube. We allow them to have like 45 minutes a night of kids YouTube, and then just regular TV. There's just so many electronics, like the TV, the computer, the Kindle pads, the Nintendo DS's, the Nintendo Switch Lite that my oldest son has. They were like addicted to them. So this past week, I have completely limited the amount of time that they're allowed to have on devices, because when I was taking the devices away because they weren't listening correctly, they were fighting a lot. Oh wow, the tantrums that came. And I've heard about this before, other people saying that like your kids are so overstimulated.
Smell these?
What are they?
Flowers.
Oh, flowers. Beautiful. You leaving them for me?
Yeah.
Okay. Leave them. We're gonna put them right here.
Okay.
All right.
You love them?
I love them. They were just really overstimulated, I think, and that's where a lot of their bickering was coming from. And they were also waking up super early. See, in the mornings we normally have, they woke up, they were allowed to go downstairs, they were allowed to get their pads, and they were allowed to sit down and be on their pads until it was breakfast time, or they were allowed to turn the TV on and watch something. And that, like, then I started noticing that they were really getting cranky, and because we don't allow any kind of electronic devices at our dining table. So breakfast, lunch, dinner, you're not allowed to have any kind of electronics at the dining table. And they were really kind of fighting me on that. So I noticed, okay, I need to limit. Hi baby, you got them for me? You want one?
No, leave that there.
Leave that there, okay. They were really fighting me. So I went and I said, nope, we're done. No electronics until, I don't allow electronics until later in the afternoon, now after dinner, or around the time that my husband comes home. That way we can focus on school during the day. I tried to do as much outside play. Even with it being raining, I was really trying to do a lot of outside play. Like, I don't care if you get dirty, go outside and play, make mud pies, do that thing, like do those things. Giving them time to draw, doing Play-Doh activities, baking together. You know, in this, hi, thank you. Oh, I love it so much. Little flowers, thank you. Okay. I just noticed how even I was on my device so much, and I really had to start limiting myself and making sure that I was engaged. So I feel like this is kind of turning into a, hey, you know, even though this sucks and we're forced being at home, it's also a blessing in disguise. I'm not sure how your family feels and like that. I mean, granted, none of us are sick, so right now it feels like a blessing. Thank you. I'm sure if any of us were suffering, we were sick, we would not feel like this is a blessing right now. Okay. Oh. Oh, thank you. I'm gonna put it up here with all the other ones, okay?
Okay.
So keep in mind that, you know, right now I'm considering this a blessing, but none of us, thank God, are sick. I also have found my love for cooking again, which I can tell you I have despised cooking for a while. My kids are such picky eaters, and meals became such a fight, and now I'm baking more. I'm trying new recipes. I'm doing a lot of things that I kept telling myself, oh, I'm gonna do. Oh, I'm gonna do. Oh, all I'm gonna do. And I hadn't been doing them. I also made, a lot of you saw on Instagram and my my Facebook. Oh, thank you, baby. Instagram and Facebook that, you know, I made those unpaper towels or cloth paper towels. Something I have been saying for years that I'm going to do, and it took, you know, a pandemic. Okay, all right. In order for me to finally do them, which is nice because now I have about 24 cloth paper towels that we're using, so we're not only making sure that we're not overusing. Oh. Daddy's home. Now everybody's excited. Who's that? Daddy! Like little chickens waiting for the door. Back up or he's not gonna be able to open the door. Say hi. They're playing Marco Polo right now. But this is something that they needed. Playing together. Finally. Without arguing. Finally. It took like 2 weeks. But we're here, we're playing, we're having fun. They're having fun together. They're realizing they can have fun together, which is nice. I feel like I'm not pulling my hair out because I was definitely like, why are you guys fighting? Why is everybody fighting? Why are we screaming? Why is everyone crying? Because they just were just like together. And I feel like maybe the last 72 hours it's finally evened out and we're not doing that anymore. And it's really, really nice. Whoops, somebody just fell. Oh, Daddy broke out his short. Let's see his white legs.
It burns.
Daddy's hot today. Can we go fishing?
Daddy, it's hot
Not
today.
yet.
Can
maybe,
we go
maybe this weekend
fishing?
if it's decent out.
I don't even know. I don't know what I was saying. What was I getting to? Don't remember. Daddy came home. Everything went out the window. When he comes home, like little chickens. Oh no, little ducklings just following behind him. So definitely had a lot of fighting and had to squash it. There was a lot of timeouts that happened. There was a lot of separating that happened. But like I said, in the last 72 hours, I feel like that's kind of come to a turning point, and we aren't really fighting anymore. They aren't really fighting anymore, which is great. And I feel like now we've got our school routine down. We've got our daily routine down, being at home. And I find myself just like with a lot more time. I didn't realize actually how much time I was spending driving, because each kid went to a different school. Driving around, dropping kids off in the morning, picking them up in the afternoon. I was spending at least 3.5 hours a day between dropping off and picking up in the morning and afternoon combined, 3.5 hours a day. And then after school activities and just everything else that has to do with life. And I also didn't realize how much just eating out we tend to do. Now my husband really kind of just goes with the flow, but like I think it definitely is more me. I'm like, okay, I got too much to do. I'm not throwing cooking into it. Let's run. Let's go out and eat. And I also like going out to eat because like I feel like I can actually sit down and have a conversation with my husband. To where when I'm home, I'm cooking, I'm bustling, I'm shuffling food back and forth, and I don't ever really get a chance to kind of sit down. So, hi. That's also changed last 2 weeks. I've also been like, okay, you know what? We're not gonna eat until everyone has a plate and everyone's sitting down. Otherwise, I'm not gonna eat dinner. Doing more hobbies for myself. Like I said, doing the unpaper towels and just finding like more sewing. That I haven't done my sewing in almost 2 years. I haven't broken my sewing machine out and sewed anything. And it's like, yes, I have time for that. I just feel like there's more time for things all of a sudden. I feel like because we're not so worried about like going out and being out, on the go, that I'm actually doing the things that I've said for years that I'm going to do project-wise. My husband's getting, you know, projects done, and we're laughing more and having more fun as a family. And I think that's the biggest takeaway here, is instead of looking at this like, whoa, my God, you know, my head's gonna explode, I haven't been around anybody, I'm not able to do anything, like blah 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 blah. Think of the positives that this is doing right now. Granted, we are not sick, so looking positively is easy right now. I'm not trying to take away from the fact that anyone that's dealing with sick family members or anything like that. I'm sending prayers out to those that are going through that right now. It's just, wow. I didn't realize just how much of all the other things that we were doing, and not family things that we were doing. You know, family movie nights, just talking to each other more, taking the time to make sure that we're taking the time to talk to each other more, putting down the devices, you know, doing things. Let's going outside, let's go play, let's just be together as a family. It's really having us be together as a family more. Even though we are a family and we're together, this is kind of making us like just do more of it, and I'm grateful for that right now. I really am. So drop below, you know, let's take a bad thing and turn it into a positive. Comment below what you're thankful for during this quarantine time. Are you thankful for the fact that you're being able to spend time with your family? Are you thankful for the fact that you're getting able to relax? Maybe you're getting able to relax for the first time in a while, and it's a stressful time to relax, because I know a lot of people are out of work right now because of this. They're having to file for unemployment, and you know, a lot of things are up in the air. But let's turn this into what are you now able to do that you weren't able to do before all of this happened? What are you now spending time in doing? Are you just opening your eye? Are you opening your eyes and you're seeing that, wow, I need to spend more time with my family, because we never know when it's going to be the last day. I mean, God knows, tomorrow, with my husband working in the fact that he's a healthcare provider, he could call me up and say, hey, I'm not coming home, I have to quarantine because I've interacted with one of my patients and he has it, or she has it. What are you doing?
Huh?
Oh, Daddy's doing an activity. So drop a comment below on exactly what you are thankful for during this time, and I will see you the next time.